Radio Cairo presents Radio Tour, a program by Ahmed Nail, presented to you by Ahmed Al-Badrawi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new edition of your program Radio Tour, in which we take you in 600 seconds tour to shed light on the major monuments, restores, natural preserves and shores, in addition to historical archaeologies in Egypt. So stay with us. Welcome back. In our tonight's edition, we shall continue our tour at the Queen's Valley, and we shall visit the tomb of Khaim Wasat, one of the sons of Ramesses III. It was discovered in February 1903 with a numerous sarcophagi piled up in the entrance corridor. This was a clear sign that it had been used for common burial. Khaim Wasat had among his most important roles that he was the priest in Petah in Memphis. His major titles include fan bearer of the right of the king, and sem priest, as indicated by reliefs in the temple of Medinat Habu. We believe he was probably Ramesses III's oldest son, and the latest information indicates that his mother was probably Queen Tite. This tomb follows a straight axis with a descending entrance corridor leading to the first main long room, a vestibule with offset annexes to either sides. The vestibule leads directly to the burial chamber with niches and a reed annex. As we enter the vestibule on the left, there is an image of Petah, followed by a scene of Ramesses III and Khaim Wasat in front of Anubis and Ra-Harakhti. On the right wall of this room is the king bringing offerings to Petah Sukar, along with a representation of he and Khaim Wasat presenting Geb with offerings of incense prior to being welcomed by the god Shu. In the annex to the left of his room, we find the prince alone before deities including Anubis, Horus in Mutaf, Selkis and Neith, and another scene of Nephthys and Isis in the presence of Osiris. Isis and Nephthys are painted predominantly in yellow, a color typical of these female deities. In the right annex, the prince is shown with the sons of Horus and other deities. There are also scenes of Isis in the presence of Osiris and Nephthys opposite Betah Sukaris. From here, we enter to the burial chamber. We first find on the left chapters of the Book of the Dead. Another scene shows Ramesses III being followed by the prince, and then we have scenes of the genies guarding the gates of the kingdom of Osiris. On the rear wall of the chamber, the king presents his son to gods Tsekhenur, Mi, Saupen, and Dikisu Uden Begaper Emut. On the right in this room we also find chapters from the Book of the Dead. The prince following the king, but this time the gate watchers have opened the way for the prince, these genies guarding the gates of the kingdom of Osiris. In these scenes, Ramesses III, followed by his son, head towards the obstacles gates to the kingdom of Osiris. Khaim Wasat will have to confront the gatekeepers with magic spells from the Book of the Dead in order to surmount these obstacles and enter the afterworld kingdom. In the rear annex we find the scene of Anubis, the jackal, a lion, and then the king, along the presenting offerings to Thoth and her siyasis, who was hired to his father Azaris. Her siyasis is shown with a falcon head wearing the crown. To the right are the genie Nebneru and Khaim Wasit, who takes on the form of another genie, Harry Mat, and then Ramesses III making offerings in front of Horus and Shapes. On the rear wall of this chamber is a double scene of Osiris with green skin facing Neith to the left and Nephthys to the right. Emerging from a blue lotus flower at Osiris' feet are the figures representing the sons of Horus, Mseti, Duammotep, and Hapi. Now we shall move to visit the tomb of Hori, who was a son of Prince Khaimwaset and hence a grandson of Ramesses III. Hori had an older brother named Ramesses, who had reserved as priest of Ptah. It was Hori, however, who would eventually follow in his father's footsteps and become high priest. Hori also had a sister named Iset Nofret. It is possible that Iset Nofret married her uncle Merenptah and served as his queen. If so, Hori would have been both a nephew and a brother-in-law to the pharaoh Merenptah. The entrance of the tomb leads to a descending stairs leading to a main chamber with side rooms. The long hall leads to the burying room, and work was not complete in the side rooms and the sacrifice compartment. The first room contains illustrations of the dead prince with his father Ramesses III while he was presenting his son to gods and goddesses. God Gihoti stands behind the king protecting him. Another illustration shows Ramesses III presenting his son to gods Ptah, Tetnen, and other gods in addition to goddess Isis. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of this evening's Ishmael program, Radio Tour. This program is prepared to you by Ahmed Nail, presented to you by Ahmed Badrawi, sound engineer Muhammad Abdelaziz.
Radio Cairo presents Sports in Egypt, a program compiled by Mayar Adil.
Hello dear friends, and welcome to a new edition of your weekly program Sports in Egypt. Dear friends, world number one Mohamed Sharbaghi has won his second Qatar Classic in a row, while competitor Noor Al-Sherbini lost the final to the upcoming world number one Laura Massaro amidst the huge Egyptian crowd. Al-Sharbaghi went into the fourth final in Qatar with high spirits, which also helped him easily win the first two games 11-5 and 11-7 respectively. The 32-year-old Frenchman Georgie was able to slow the tempo of the game and successfully secure third game and score 11-5. However, the 24-year-old Alexandrian was not discouraged and he won the fourth game of the match 12-10. Therefore, the winning of the match 3-1 win also the Sharbaghi and will move into the World Championship with high morale. After the match, Al-Sharbaghi said, "I'm just glad I was able to play the whole week here, and I'm glad I could win the title just 1 week before the World Championship. For sure, it's confidence boost for me for that tournament." And for the women, also Noor Al-Sharbaghi lost the Massaro 3-2 in the final. Lost lasted for 73 minutes. The 20-year-old Egyptian lost the first game 11-8, but she also won the second game 14-12. The Algerian men's wheelchair basketball team qualified Friday evening in Algeria to the final of the 2015 African Championships thanks to their victory over Egypt 80-50. The Algerian team, coached by Lancy Tagmi, will play the final on Saturday at 4:45 p.m. and against Morocco, which defeated in another semi-final South Africa. The Algerian and Moroccan teams confronted each other in the first round, where Algeria won the 63-56. Africa's champion will qualify for 2016 Olympic Games in Rio. It was announced today that Egypt will host the IHF World Men's Championship 2021 after sustaining tough competition from Hungary. Also, Egypt won the race to host the 27th Handball World Men's Championship 2021 after furious competition with Hungary and Poland, and also the decision was announced on Friday during the Handball Federation General Assembly held in Russia. This will be second HIF World Championship hosted by Egypt, as in 1999 Egypt successfully hosted the 16th edition of the championship, which Sweden won. Egypt now sits 15th of the world ranking with 355 points and the highest of all the Arab and the African rankings. Well, this, dear friends, we came to the end of our edition for tonight. Sports in Egypt, the weekly program compiled to you by Mayar Aidil, presented to you by Sarah Muhammad, and many thanks to our sound engineer Hani Misisi.
This is Radio Cairo presenting Pioneers. A program prepared and presented by Suzy Massoud. Welcome back to a new edition of the program. Today we shed light on Hisham Dijait. Hisham Dijait is a prominent Tunisian scholar of Islam. His main works are The Great Fitna 1989 and The Life of Muhammad 2007. Dijait was born in Tunis, Tunisia, to a conservative upper-middle-class family. His father and some of his uncles and relatives were Islamic sheikh, which made the name of the Dijait family become traditionally associated with the Zaytuna Mosque as well as with Islamic fiqh and ifta jurisprudence. He had his secondary education at Sidqi College, where he studied French, world literature, Western philosophy, Arabic and Islamic studies. His training at the Sidqi College made him discover Enlightenment thinkers and the ideas of the Renaissance and the Reformation, which were rather different from the teachings of his families.
عجبا لغزال قتال عجبا كم بالأفكار وبقلوب لعبا عجبا لغزال قتال عجبا.
DJ traveled to France where he received the aggregation diploma in history in 1962. His PhD in arts and humanities was in Paris in 1981.
يا لا لا لي.
Today, Dijait is an emeritus professor at the University of Tunis. He is also a visiting professor at McGill University and the University of California. In addition to the numerous honorary titles and awards he received, Dijait was appointed president of the Tunisian Academy of Sciences, Letters and Arts on February 17, 2012. Professor Dijait is a specialist in Middle Age Islamic history. In the many books he published in Tunisia and France, he mainly deals with various subjects related to Islamic culture, history, and philosophy, as well as the relationship between Islam and modernity and the place of Islam in the contemporary world. Among such publications, one may mention The Great Fitna or The Great Discord, first published in 1989 and which represents a seminal study and revolutionary reading of Islamic history following the death of Prophet Muhammad. The Great Fitna is often described by scholars and critics as the most influential reference on this subject. Other works include Europe and Islam in 1978, The Revelation, the Quran and the Prophecy in 1986, The Crisis of Islamic Culture 2004, and a groundbreaking study entitled The Life of Muhammad, first published in 2007 and released in English in 2014. The 3 volumes of the later study, which covers the itinerary of the Prophet Muhammad and the concomitant evolution of Islam, are subtitled Revelation and Prophecy, Prediction in Mecca, and the Prophet's Life in Medina and the Triumph of Islam.
عجبا لغزال قتال عجبا كم بالأفكار وبقلوب اللعبة.
That was Pioneers.
عجبا لغزال قتال عجبا.
Many thanks to our sound engineer Ibrahim Abdo.
وبقلوب اللعبة كم بالأفكار.
From Egypt, the country of pioneers, I'm Suzy Masoud wishing you all the best.
يا لا لا لي.
Radio Cairo presents Egyptian Invitation, a weekly program compiled and presented by Samar Simi. Hello and welcome to Egyptian Invitation. Senior British government delegation of aviation and counter-terrorism experts visited Cairo for discussions on a joint plan to restart flights to Sharm el-Sheikh. On 18th and 19th of November, a senior British government delegation of aviation and counter-terrorism experts visited Cairo on instructions from Prime Minister David Cameron for discussions with the Egyptian authorities on a joint plan to allow British flights to return to Sharm el-Sheikh as soon as possible. The delegation was headed by the Prime Minister's envoy on aviation security, Sir William Beatty. The delegation's meeting included discussions with Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri, Tourism Minister Hisham Dazour, Dr. Faiza Abu Naga, National Security Advisor to the President, General Ahmed Gamal-Eddin, Advisor on Security and Counter-Terrorism Affairs, Dr. Al-Zinaiti, Head of the Civil Aviation Authority, and other security agencies. British delegation conveyed a political message from Prime Minister David Cameron that the United Kingdom would work actively, urgently, and in detail with the Egyptian authorities to allow normal flights to and from Sharm el-Sheikh as soon as possible. They welcomed the close and professional cooperation with the Egyptian authorities over the last 2 weeks to ensure the safety of passengers departing from Sharm el-Sheikh. The delegation stressed that Britain will never falter in its commitment to work with the Egyptian government to defeat shared enemies and threats to our citizens in Europe, North Africa, and beyond. They emphasized the strategic importance to British interests of a strong and secure Egyptian economy and the need to stop terrorist attempts to undermine it. Commenting on the discussions with Egyptian counterparts, British Ambassador John Casson said, Britain was the first to act on airport security issues at Sharm el-Sheikh, and we want to be the first to find the solutions to restore normal flights as soon as possible. That's why Britain's most senior aviation security experts are here in Cairo this week. Our talks have shown very encouraging progress with shared analysis, shared commitment to swift progress, and shared ideas on the way forward. We now have a strong basis to agree a shared action plan in the days ahead and to return British flights as soon as possible. A strong Egyptian economy with a strong tourist industry at the strategic heart of this vital region is a national interest for Britain. Recent events have shown that every country must take every possible step to protect their citizens. Britain will do that, but we must not allow anything to drive Britain and Egypt apart or undermine our long-term economic and security partnership. With this, we come to the end of tonight's edition of Egyptian Invitation. Many thanks goes to Asma Asim. This is Samar Samir, wishing you a pleasant evening and a very good night.
وسامحني تعالى قول ايه زعلك مني وصارحني وتعالى يوم سلم على قلبي وسامحني تعالى قول ايه زعلك مني وصارحني ولا ده طبعا يا حب عمري بالهواك والدلال ولا ده بختي ومكتوب عليا أعشق الشيء المحال ولا ده طبعك يا حب عمري بالهواك والدلال ولا ده بختي مكتوب عليا أعشق الشيء المحال سيدي أنا إمتى اللقاء إمتى يعود بينا الصفا سيدي أنا إمتى اللقاء إمتى يعود بينا الصفا سيدي أنا فات كام سنة لكن ده من طبع الوفاء ولا ده بختي مكتوب عليا عشان الشيء المحال. سيدي أنا إمتى اللقاء إمتى يعود بينا الصفا. سيدي أنا إمتى اللقاء إمتى يعود بينا الصفا. سيدي أنا فات كم سنة لكن ده من طبع الوفاء.
Radio Cairo presents the lighter side of the news.
Hello friends and welcome to a new edition of the program. The city of Aswan received 1,800 tourists from different nationalities in 48 hours. They visited Aswan and the temple of Abu Simbel and other great monuments in the city, while Luxor city received 5,450. In this respect, in 3 days for visiting different monuments in the city, according to General Manager of Luxor and Archaeological Director Dr. Mustafa Waziri. Technical Manager of Al Ahli football team, the Portuguese Jose Becerro, commented on his photo in front of the Great Pyramid, saying on his Facebook page, "The city of culture, splendor and beauty. He loves visiting archaeological moments in Cairo." Now we move on to Italy, where the Italian superstar Claudia Cardinale expressed her happiness by her honoring an award from the Cairo International Film Festival. It's well known that Cairo International Film Festival honored this international superstar and awarded her a special prize carrying the name of the late Egyptian superstar Faten Hamama. Cardinale added that she visited Egypt many times and feels happy to visit it again. She remembered her memories with the Egyptian international superstar Omar Sharif when she visited Egypt in the past. She also called tourists to come and visit Egypt and enjoy its charm and beauty. Now we shall end our edition by reviewing this news item about the National Council for Women in Sharqiya Governorate, where the council organized a campaign including meetings and seminars at the different council organized this and directorate at the different facilities of Al-Zaghazi University. These seminars and meetings come under the title of Participate, Choose and Elect. The goal of this campaign is encouraging people for voting in the parliamentary elections. These meetings and seminars aim at getting voters familiarized with the importance of their participation and correct selection of their representatives. Many contenders for parliament seats use the support of celebrations former politicians, ministers of governors, in addition to artists and men of media in their election rallies for encouraging voters to vote for them. Dear listeners, this brings us to the end of today's edition of your weekly program, The Lighter Side of the News. It's a weekly program that is written by Mona Shafiq. Today's edition was brought out to you from Radio Cairo by Nagla Ahmed. Right now, dear listeners, it's time to stay tuned with your weekly program, Modern Egypt.
Radio Cairo presents Modern Egypt. Modern Egypt is a weekly program prepared by Ahmed Nail.
Hello dear friends and welcome to a new edition of your weekly program Modern Egypt. And in today's edition we will be highlighting a few things about the latest news in Cairo. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi made a phone call with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in which he stressed the strong bilateral relations between the two countries on all levels. He mentioned that those relations are deeply rooted and historic, ones that we will enhance in the coming stage and will witness new horizons of cooperation. Presidential Pro-Muslim Ambassador Ala Yusuf said President al-Sisi expressed Egypt's understanding of the pain felt by Russian people following the disaster of the Russian plane crash. He referred to the cooperation of the Egyptian authorities with the Russian ones concerned with investigation, that necessity of international cooperation in confronting terrorism and taking strict measures against the forces of extremism and terrorism, which target all countries of the world with no distinction. Yusuf added that the two presidents confirmed the importance of joint work with the help of friendly countries so as to attain a better reality for the peoples of the area. They stressed on attaining security and restoring stability in different countries of the Middle East. The important meeting held by Oxford Business Group with President al-Sisi tackled several issues including the basic partnership launched by Egypt during the conference supporting and developing the Egyptian economy, the efforts exerted to restore the total economy and the hopes raised over the project of developing the Suez Canal pivot. During the meeting, President al-Sisi declared that the conference of supporting and developing the different classes will pump capitals to establish giant projects in Egypt. The President added that the total number of arrangements and agreements signed during the conference is 20 with total investments of $66.4 billion. He confirmed that work has already started in half of the signed agreements, including the ones with the international petroleum countries to carry out oil exploration, as well as the agreement signed with Siemens Corporation to install electric power stations. The President expressed new jobs and he expressed his confidence that the series of incentive labor projects to be launched soon will help provide new jobs for young people in Egypt. The director of Oxford Business Group in Africa declared that the meeting held with President al-Sisi was marked by frankness and that it helped throw light on the achievement and economic view of the Egyptian leadership. Dear listeners, this brings us to the end of today's edition of your weekly program Modern Egypt. It's a weekly program that is written by Ahmed Nail and brought out to you from Radio Cairo by Nagla Ahmed.
Radio Cairo presents Sports in Egypt, a program compiled by Mayar Adel.
Hello, dear friends.
Hello dear friends, welcome to a new edition of the program. Egypt's national team manager Hector Copper has requested to play friendlies against North Korea, North African sides during the upcoming month. Egypt's national team general supervisor Hani Abu Rida spoke about the upcoming period for the national team. I had a chat with Hector Copper after the game and he requested to have a monthly training camp to be concluded by a friendly game, he said. Egypt's next official game is the FIFA agenda will be in March when they face Nigeria. Therefore, Abu Rida spoke about the options teams to play till March. Since we will be playing outside the FIFA international agenda, we will be looking for teams that do not have a majority of their players in Europe. We do not mind facing Algeria or any country from North Africa. Egyptian star javelin thrower Ihab Abdulrahman has won the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Creative Sports Award. Nominees for the Creative Sports Award, a contest held every year, were from African and Arab countries. There were several awards categories: the Arab Social Media Award, Arabic League, World Peace, and Creative Sports. Only one winner won the prize in each category. Executive Director and General Supervisor of the national teams at the Egyptian Athletics Federation, Ahmed El-Wardani, said. Crown Prince of Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, launched the Mohammed bin Rashid Creative Sports Awards on the 30th of May 2007. The award honors the individuals, teams and establishments that demonstrate creativity in the field of sports. Abdulrahman, 26, who has been playing in Al Ahly Sports Club since 2006, thanked the club for choosing him as a candidate for the award. Abdulrahman took an unprecedented silver medal in this year's IAAF Championship with a throw of 88.99 meters. Kenyan gold medalist Julius Hugo threw 92.72 meters. Only 3.73 meters separated the gold from the silver. It was the first time two African athletes had won first and second place in the event of the IAEA, whose edition this year was held in Beijing National Stadium from the 24th to the 26th of August. Dear listeners, this brings us to the end of today's edition of your weekly program, Sports in Egypt. Thanks for our editor, Mayar Adel, and that's myself, Nagla Ahmed. Well, the listeners, right now it's time for the latest top stories. Special forces storm a luxury hotel in Mali after a gunman seized guests and staff in a hostage crisis that left at least 27 people dead. At least 8 people were killed in at least 50 strikes on Syria's eastern Del Azor province, during which dozens of oil tankers are destroyed. Bomb attacks on a Shiite mosque and elsewhere in southern Baghdad kill at least 15 people. Daesh group claims responsibility for attacks on the army in southeast Yemen that cost dozens of lives. And finally, EU nations agree to immediately tighten checks on all travelers, including European nationals, at the external borders of the passport-free Schengen area. The listeners, also our latest top stories coming to you in the North America service of Radio Kairos.
حكم علينا الهوى نعشق سوا يا عين واحنا اللي قبل الهوى شوف 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 كنت فين وانا فين حكم علينا الهوى حكم